It's that time of the year again when a new set's come out and it's time to find us some new cube cards. Hello and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and thank you so much for joining me. Dominaria has now released and I am so excited to get my hands on some of these great cards. The booster box is in the post and there will be an opening on the channel of that as well. Just because, I haven't done a booster box opening properly on the channel for a little while and this set just looks like so much fun. So again, let me know in the comment section as well below what your favourite card is from the set. I'll be very interested to find out. And in this video, we're going to be going over my top 10 uncommon cards from the set for Cube that I'll be making into peasant cubes and potentially even higher. There's definitely one card I'm pretty sure everybody will know that will definitely make it into higher power level cubes. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon as well so you don't miss any of the upcoming cube content and gameplay videos that are going to be on the channel. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. So starting off at the number 10 slot, we have one of the Saga cards that I really do like the artwork for, and that is Time of Ice. Definitely let me know in the comment section below whether you like the look of these Sagas cards too. So back to Time of Ice, and the downside that affects all of the Saga cards is the effect is telegraphed to the opponent. So they have given a chance to actually try to be able to react to them. The keyword here is try. Having the ability to tap down two of your opponent's threats over the course of the first two turns this card is out, and then bouncing them back to their hand on the third turn is really nice to have. This is a great tempo card, and on some board states it could end up locking down the board for you. While on paper it might not look very impressive, I definitely say give it a try, and some of the other Sagas go as well because they play out a lot better than they read. Although maybe not quite as good as they look. Moving on to the number 9 slot, we have our first legendary creature in this list in the form of Baird, Steward of Argive. This for me is a fairer way to put cards like Ghostly Prison and Propaganda into Cube, plus the cheaper cost for your opponent to pay to attack is at least not quite as massive a deterrent. That being said, this guy is great against aggro and token strategies when you get him online, and his 2/4 Vigilance Body will certainly be able to do a little work for you as well. The only question you'll end up being is, do you actually want to have this effect in your cube? Carrying on with the legendary cards, at number 8 we have Tatiova Benthic Druid. This is a card I've seen a lot of discussion about as to whether it's good or not. I'm in the camp of it's certainly a decent card, but it'll be very dependent on your cube and how you'll want to play with it. For me, this sits really well in a Simic, ramp or value deck, with it being able to draw a card each time a land comes into play, plus an extra bit of life gain doesn't hurt either. If you're playing a different strategy with your Simic guild such as Evolve, you may not want this, but if you aren't, then I'd certainly give this a test. At the number 7 slot, we have 3 of the Memorial Cycle of lands. If you use any utility lands in your cube for colours, these certainly might be worth having a look at. Each of these have slightly different uses depending on the colour, so Memorial for Folly for me is a nice way to exchange a mana flood for the best creature you have in your graveyard, whilst Memorial of Genius allows you to trade potentially too much mana for much needed cards, and last of all, Memorial to Glory allows you to do the same for some creature tokens. I'd personally say that these 3 are the strongest of the cycle, but feel free to take a look at the other 2 as you may find a use for them. These won't be for everyone, but if you do use a utility land per basic colour, these certainly might worth be giving a test. Coming in at number 6, we have the second of our Saga cards with Song of Freyalise. Having a Cryptolith Rites and a mini overrun on a single card is absolutely fantastic for us. Like I mentioned earlier on, the effect is telegraphed, but by having the ability to use your creatures as mana to get more threats on the board ready for the third stage of the Saga to come online is absolutely fantastic for us. It just makes the whole card more impactful, and I definitely think this is just about quick enough in a game to be worth taking a look at. Moving on into the top 5, and we have a card that's been downshifted from Rare in the form of Skizzik. While Red has some great aggressive curve toppers in the format already in the form of Charging Monstrosaur and Keldon Champion, I think this is certainly a card that could find its way as one more in a player's Red section. Having the option to play a turn earlier as a ball lightning variant without the kicker may well be a play that wins you the game, and if you have room for another top end in red, maybe give it a try. At number 4 we have another one of our legendary creatures which benefits from having more auras and equipment, and that is Danitha Capuchin, Paragon. What I like about this card is even as a 2-2 with Vigilance, First Strike and Lifelink, it's decent for the cost. First Strike will definitely protect her in combat, and if you start putting any equipment or auras, pump spells or +1/+1 counters on her, she becomes an absolute beast. Plus being able to cast auras and equipment at a reduced cost may well make a big difference during the course of the game. This card may not be for everyone, but I certainly think she'll find a home in a lot of peasant cubes that support the archetype she benefits from. Into the top 3 now, and we start off with Untamed Kavu. This is a kicker card I can get on board with. Not only is it a good card at its base cost, but with the addition of the kicker it becomes an absolute beast. I can hear questions of why would you need a trample on a 2-2? Well, start off by giving it pump spells or +1/+1 counters and it will excel. That being said, it really does have a greater benefit of those keywords with the kicker cost paid, and what more can I say? I definitely can see this finding a home in a lot of cubes. At the number 2 slot, we have a strong piece of removal that is pretty much unconditional at the moment until you add some more uncommon legendaries into your peasant cubes, and that is Cast Down. For me, this is an improvement on some of the other conditional removal that Black has, like Doomblade and Ultimate Price, although in time that could change. By being able to kill off any non-legendary creature is huge due to the limited number of them at this power level, and this will also hit black creatures that Doomblade can't, and multicolored creatures that Ultimate Price can't. While in the future, if there are more uncommon legendaries being printed, I can see this card getting worse, but for now it's an incredible piece of removal that will end up getting into the vast majority of peasant cubes and potentially even higher. Finally, at the number 1 slot, we have a card for me that's probably one of the best cards in the entire set, and that is Dauntless Bodyguard. The fact I'm so excited about another Savannah Lions creature with an upside just shows how important they are in cube, and this one makes up for much bigger upside later on in the game. Being able to protect one of your bombs by sacrificing this makes it a really important card, and certainly one that will be high on cube builders lists. Just being a 2-1 early on isn't the worst flaw to have being played on an empty board, but certainly unlike other 2-1s for 1, this card improves the later on it gets in the game, which can't be said for a lot of other variants. This card will certainly find itself a home in a lot of cubes at pretty much all power levels because, let's face it, this card is absolutely excellent. So there we have my top 10 uncommon cards from this set for cube, and like I mentioned during the video and at the top of the video, one of these cards for sure is going to be making it into higher power level cubes because it's just so good, and I never thought I'd be so excited about Savannah Lion variants, but hey, it's a Savannah Lion with an upside and a very good one at that, so definitely going to be making its way up. But definitely do let me know as well in the comment section below which cards you're going to be putting into your peasant cubes, or potentially even higher. Have I also missed any of the great uncommon cards that have come out of this set out that you're going to be putting into your cubes as well? I would definitely like to know, because like I mentioned before, there are so many great cards in the set, so many interesting build around cards as well. Be very interested to see which cards that you like as well. I would just like to take this moment to thank my Patreons of the channel. I can't thank you enough for the help and support that you're giving me. If you'd like to do the same, head over to patreon.com/lifebegins@20, and there'll be a link in the description below for that as well. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. With your support, we can really help this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.